Good day, ladies and gentlemen, either or neither, and welcome to another Patreon video. Yeah, let me just get into my Patreon so that I can actually say thanks to everybody. This has been a crazy little bit of a week, not gonna lie. This past week, as you all know, I had to look after my brother's dogs, and it made me go to bed at 5 o'clock in the morning. No, I fed them at 5, so I got to bed about 6 or 7, because obviously, it's usually around about that time when you're staying awake or when you're staying up that when you get your second burst of energy. And that's usually what happened. I fed them and then I'm like, I'm awake now. And then I'd usually get to bed about 7 and wake up at about 10 or 11. There was one day where I woke up at 1, but my entire day was messed up then after that. So it was quite hectic. And emotionally, it also fucked with me because I was not, I guess, changing the sleep patterns to that messes with your chemical balance in your brain or whatever. So I was very irritated and agitated in general last week. And at some point, someone used a Dexper skill while I was playing 7 Days to Die, and I got angry and took off my headphones a little bit too quickly, and now this is how I fix them. I can still sort of hear out of them, that's okay. And yeah, that's basically it. And then I think it was the next day. I think it was on the Tuesday, and on the Wednesday, my mom, dad, and my sister's kid had to cut their holiday short in Clarence. Now remember, I've been playing 7 Days to Die this entire week. Let me just tell you that. So they had to cut their holiday in Clarence short because my sister's kid has been tested positive for the coof. Yeah, I don't think you can say it out loud on YouTube just yet. And my mom was a little bit iffy, but I wrote it up as just her stressing about this entire thing happening. And I believe my sister's kid got it at her husband, got infected from my sister's ex-husband or the kid's father. And because he's one of them fuckers that don't want to get the vaccine. And bit of a backstory, my sister's also one of the fuckers that don't want to get the vaccine. And so Wednesday happens, playing with a broken headset, or it happened on Wednesday, I'm not entirely sure. Wednesday happens, Thursday happens, we play a bit of that. Thursday I couldn't hold it anymore, and by 4 o'clock I had to call my stream because I was tired, right? Oh, what also happened on Thursday, and this is another thing that contributed to my tiredness. What happened on Thursday is my father got taken into the hospital because he was fucked. And apparently it's just his system breaking down with the stress and everything, and he was also tested positive. Now, you got to keep in mind, ever since I heard that my sister's kid was tested positive, I'm like, I want to give my mom and dad a hug when they came back. No, I can't. So I was basically yelling at them across the wall, and whenever I'm talking with them, I make sure I'm outside, and I'd say a meter away, maybe 2 meters away, but I'm probably something more like 5 meters away. I'm pretty damn far from them when I speak to them outside. And when they're inside, I basically yell at them through a window. And if I have to feed the dogs, because the dog food is in the house, I take the long route around and grab the dog food. And, if there's someone, if any of those 4 people, my mom, my dad, my sister, or a kid, is in the area where I'm feeding where I want to feed the dogs, or where I want to get the dog food, I'm like, listen, just fuck off. Just fuck off. Just Go away. Open the door, wait 5 minutes, go in and feed the dogs. And my father came back from the ICU, or the ER, I think it's what they call it. It's the emergency room area of the hospital. And he was fine. Like, he felt pretty damn good. So it was basically, I think, just some sort of electrolytes or something missing in his system. Being my father, he doesn't talk about it quite a lot, so it's like, okay. And then on Friday, my mom, by this time on Thursday, my mom spent the entire day in bed and just sleeping and not feeling well. And by Friday, I was like, you know what, I'm going to take you to the hospital. And I basically came in Friday morning when I fed the dogs, and I told my mom, listen, I'm going to take you to the hospital at 10 o'clock. You better be ready. I fed the dogs. Everything went to bed by about 10 o'clock. Well, about 9 o'clock, I wake up again. So this is about 6 to 9-ish. So I slept about 3 hours on Friday. And took my mom to the hospital, again to the emergency ward or whatever. And, all the way, like 3 of the 4 windows in the car was open. Not her window, because I don't want her to feel shit. But 3 of the 4 windows were open. So fresh air, mask on, everything. And then I got her to the hospital and they took her up and everything. And I stay outside the whole day. You're going to hear Rocky bark outside because he's seeing something apparently. So I stayed outside of the hospital ward the whole day, of the ER ward. And just when, like, they needed me, they had to phone me. Because, I don't want to be infected. So I basically stayed outside. And every time they, ask my mom questions and she can't answer them, they phone me. I run back in, do the whole sanitizing thing, run back in, like, no. Look at my mom, fucking stressing out, going out, having a cigarette. Maybe a couple of cries as well, 3 or 4 times that day, that entire Friday, I cried. And so from 10 till about 5-ish, 6-ish, I was there, right? I was there outside. It rained, fucking everything, and I came back in and, don't want to be infected. And the entire day I stayed there. There was maybe half an hour or an hour that I wasn't there because I had to just update everyone here. And I wanted to just get away from there. So instead of phoning people here, I just drove because I'm like, fuck it. I just want to get away from the hospital for a bit. And by about 5-ish, we found out that my mom had to be taken up into the hospital, had to be taken in. And I start freaking out. My ears start welling up behind my ears. My tears start welling up. And the doctor's like, no. It's for her sugar level. Now, my mom's a diabetic. And what basically happened, she came here since, I don't know what she ate on Wednesday. But basically, as far as I know, since Wednesday night when they arrived, Wednesday till Friday when she ate at the hospital, so Friday night, 6 o'clock-ish, 5:40-ish, 5:30-ish. So from Wednesday till Friday, my mom had 1 freaking toasted bread, and 1 freaking rusk. They taking her up like, your sugar is fucking crazy, we gotta take you in. And the doctor specifically said also, like, hey, I can see. She's like, I just want to make sure your mom's vaccinated, right? I'm like, yeah, she's been fully vaccinated. She's got both her shots. She's like, okay, because that explains why her COVID case is so mild. I'm like, nice. Her coof case is so mild. And I was like, nice. And she's like, no, we're taking her up for a sugar, not COVID. We're taking her up for a sugar. Her sugar thing needs to do the things, and we need to sort it out and all that. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I get her overnight bag, get in the car, cry all the way home, about maybe a minute away from home. No, less than a minute away from home. I stop crying, come to my dad and tell my dad the whole story. My dad freaks out. I'm like, no, it's for a sugar. Don't worry. And he's like, okay. But he's also like in and out of bed and whatnot. So I get mom some clothes for my mom, her reading glasses, all her glasses. She's got 3 pairs 3 pairs of glasses. And, I take it to her, and that was probably the longest time I stayed with her in her room, was probably when I delivered the stuff. Probably about 10 minutes, 15 minutes. And then they took my mother up into the hospital, and they're like, yeah, unfortunately, no visitors, and you can't walk with us, unfortunately. I'm like, no, I understand completely. And I got home on Friday night about 6:30-ish. Just before 6:30, I remember that. Tired as fuck and everything. Did not stream Friday night. I just fucking chilled out. What happened Friday night is I got home and I basically showered and just sitting in front of the computer for like maybe 3 hours till about 10 o'clock-ish. And then I went to bed. Passed out for about an hour. Woke up and started playing games till about 5 o'clock in the morning. Because I couldn't sleep. Saturday morning. Now, the big thing is Saturday morning, I get a message from my dad saying, listen, you just got to go when you pick up your mom, buy these things for us. I'm like, sweet, I'm on it. I'll be your guy that drives around. I'll be the guy that drives around and get you shit. And Saturday turns out, no, she's coming back on Sunday. So luckily we've packed enough clothes for her to last until Monday, right? And Saturday passes, play a bit of games with Zhenko, play a bit of golf with friends with Zhenko and everybody. Did a very... went and delivered... Why didn't I go in Saturday? I had to hand in... The first time I went Saturday, I went and gave her one of the Brandon Sanderson books that she's reading, and her other pair of glasses. And a cell phone, because she doesn't have a cell phone on her. Her old cell phone died. So it's like, okay. So I take that into the hospital, come back, do a podcast. Done with the podcast on Saturday. And it's the SA Geeks podcast. So you can just search for that and you'll see. I wasn't at my best there. I was tired, irritated, and all that. And after the podcast, I check up on my dad literally through the window. And my dad's like, oh, your mom's staying until Monday. We need to get her new clothes. So I pack her new clothes and everything. Go to the hospital and deliver things, wait in the hospital. There's no one there. So it's like literally the security guards and the check-in receptionist nurse person. Get some of her older clothes, her dirty clothes, and came back. And then on Saturday I realized, oh fuck, I haven't eaten. So I ate like a bit of meat and a susati, a fucking kebab if you will. And we are now on Sunday. This is Sunday about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And I'm excited to have my mum back. Like, I just want to see her, you know. I'm probably going to edit some of these things out if I get too teary-eyed. But I just want to see her, man. I just want to see her. Like, on Friday night, like while we were waiting for her to be taken up, she started giving me a lot of tips. A lot of tips on cooking. Most of which I've already known. But it's as if she wanted to make sure I know how to cook. But she will be back on Monday. And for this week, okay, let's just switch over to other things. For this week, we will be playing 7 Days to Die on Monday, Tuesday, most likely Wednesday, because I won't be streaming on Friday. Most likely Wednesday. Thursday. And on Friday, Solden will be here. We'll probably go live on his Twitch channel. And probably go live on my Instagram/YouTube page. And yeah, that's it. Saturday, we'll have the entire family crew, the entire vampire family crew together. Sunday, I have no idea what we're going to do on Sunday yet. Sunday, we'll just take it as it is. Monday, we've got some flapjacks at Zhenko's place with regards to... and then we're going to play a bit of board games. And then Monday after that, we'll probably go and have a final drink. And then on Tuesday, Solden flies back. Yeah. So Monday, I won't also be streaming. So Tuesday, I'll be back. Tuesday evening, I'll be back. For those of you wondering about me, how I feel, aside from being emotionally fucked, I'm feeling good. No effects yet whatsoever. The doctor specifically said, when I told her, she's like, your incubation period should end around about Monday or Tuesday this coming week. And she was like, but listen, if you don't have any symptoms, you generally don't have to test. I'm like, okay, thank you. And I asked her why, and she's like, because if you don't have any symptoms and you go out to check, you go and test yourself. What she has found most of the time, the patients make it worse because they take that shock and it just fucks up their bodies, and it takes longer for patients to recover. And she's like, all you need to do is stay away from them as much as you possibly can. I'm like, okay, no, that's no problem, because I'm stuck in my room in any case, in my flat in any case, the whole day. And she's like, yeah, and make sure you hang around vaccinated people. I'm like, okay, not that I would hang around vaccinated people, but... And I told her about the thing this weekend, and she's like, no, you should be fine. If you take the necessary precautions. And that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. All right. Yeah, so let's get to our patrons. Yes. We're at that part of the video. This is going to be a long one. We've got our kings and queens. Our queens, Great Susie. Our Jarl Herflex. Noctis Silence, our Carl. And Corcrag and Minotia, our two thralls. And then we've got everybody else, the beautiful lurkers, Big Nick, D Fries, Dominic, JC Hunter, Jumpy Humpy Spider, Matt Dorana, Mogwai, Tim Beak, Second Class Elitist, and Mika. Thank you all for your patronage, and until next week, we'll probably have Solden here as part of our guests. As part of our Patreon video, a special Patreon video with Solden. That's going to be fun. Thank you, everybody, for watching, and I will see you in the next one. And until then, hug someone you love. Tell them you love them today. And until then, you should have a beardly good one.